Need a lawyer. If I got into a lot of details about my situation, this could be really long, so I will keep it as short as possible. In September, we will have been married 9 years and we have been together for 12. We have 2 children we brought into the marriage and 1 together. Our major problem started after our son was born. I was laid off and we went through our savings. There has been a lot of financial stress on me since then. At the same time, she has been trying to start a business that she wants to do full-time but just can't get off the ground. It has taken up a lot of money and I pay the bulk of the expenses and I'm always stressing about how to make ends meet. She had a full affair. It was a few months and he moved away. We decided to work on it and stay together, but since then she has had other what I would consider emotional affairs, and one that did have some physical kissing and touching. With that one, she said she loved him and was ready to leave me for him. But he was just a player and we decided to work through it and stay together. Her main complaints about me are that I don't talk to her, spend time with her, or protect her. I don't make her feel loved. She has had disputes with people and she doesn't think I have had her back. When her father passed away, she was in the middle of an emotional affair that was clouding my judgment, and she does not feel I was there for her. She says that I change for a while but then go back to my old ways. She is right, I have gotten complacent and let life and anger get in the way. 2 weeks we were having a big money issue because we had to pay a bunch of tickets that she rang up when renewing our registration. She also had spent a bunch of money out of the account I didn't know about. I needed to figure out how to pay rent and I was mad at her and stressing out. I did push her away. After a few days she said she wanted a separation and divorce. She said that she was done with our marriage and it was over. She said she has been unhappy for years and couldn't take it anymore. She said she accepts the fact that she was not good enough for me to do what I need to do. I showed her that she was not worth it. I then heard her talking on the phone to another man. Apparently, they have been talking for the year but got serious recently. I checked the phone records and they text hundreds of times a day and talk for hours. He lives across the country but they met through business. She is talking about how he is her priority and acts completely different with him than me. She talks to him about being with him and moving on with him. We are in a lease, so we have to stay in our house until October. She said after that she will be moving across the country. She wants us to work out something with our son and be cordial and respectful of each other. It has been extremely hard. There has been a lot of crying. I am an emotional wreck. I feel like I am constantly being punched in the chest and out of breath. I love her with all my heart, and the times when I thought maybe would be better without her don't seem real anymore. It is destroying me what this will do to our family. Neither one of us is willing to give up our son, but she is moving away to a place that he is not familiar with and where she has no support system. I can't see it being anything else but a battle. I haven't said anything to her about eavesdropping and hearing that she is in a relationship with someone else. I wanted to do it tomorrow to let her know. I also wanted to text him and let him know that if I ever see him it will be a problem and I will never let him around my son. I want to tell her that my son will stay with me and I will send him to her on the school breaks with a no-contact order in place for the other man. Most of all, I want my family and I want my wife back. My son's birthday is coming up and she wants us to go to an amusement park. I am trying to see if I can scrape together the money since this is before payday, and if I can't we may not be able to go. Also, if I tell her I know she is actually in a new relationship, I don't know what will happen. As you can see, I am lost and confused. Comments: hard to give her some emotional energy when she places a lot of stress on you and is part of the problem. What time and energy do you have to give? What does she give you in return, as it sounds like you take a major part of the burden? You are supportive of her. How about she reciprocates, as your relationship revolves around her a lot and not on each other? Anyways, let her go and let her make her poor choices. You cannot save her from doing so and you had no hand in that dysfunction. Just heal and concentrate on yourself at present, as you are chasing after someone that is detrimental to yourself. You love her, but it is unhealthy at the cost of your own well-being. Does not sound like the relationship was bliss. You must protect your finances. Lock up anything of value and take pictures. Get a lawyer and divorce this parasite. OP responds: I know I should have been better in the relationship, but a lot of it was everything that was placed on me. She is very good at twisting things and making it all my fault. It wasn't always like this though. We were very happy for a lot of years, and I think the memory of that is part of what makes it hard. I had planned to spend the rest of my life with her, and now my son is going to have a harder life because we couldn't get our stuff together for our family. Comment: well, she had an unhealthy belief system putting all the responsibility on you. Princess syndrome. Instead of working together during the stressful times, she added stress and she lowered your own self-worth. In essence, she was a cancer, making you sick. Yes, it will be hard as you associate with her past self and those memories. When you think about the past, you have a strong urge to reconnect. But this is also another aspect to her personality. You did not make her that way, and she was likely like that before she met you. So, protect yourself, as she has only her best interest and probably has always been that way. OP responds: I wish she could read all of this so that she could see what people think of her and her actions. She has always told all of her friends all of our problems, but she has a way of skewing them to make me look bad and her look like the victim. So, everyone always agrees with her and supports her. She never hears the things you all are saying about herself. Even though we had a good time for years, she was always a difficult person. She used to always tell me, "You knew who I was when we got married, and you said that you could handle me." Which is true. We each have a child separately and one together. My stepdaughter has a lot of problems in school and behaviorally, another huge stress in our marriage, so she is sending her to live in another state for a year with her aunt. I disagreed in sending her away, but now that we are separated, she made the decision without me. She thinks it gives her the best chance to turn things around. So, as she moves away, she does not need to worry about her. I probably should have mentioned there is already a divorce case filed. She actually filed at the end of 2014 when we were going through everything with her dad. But we decided to work things out and stay together. The case was never closed, so she is just moving forward with it, and we have a court date in September. I haven't been served with the actual paperwork yet to file my response. But there is a court date for the divorce and an end date for our lease when she will move out. I don't know where she will go in that meantime, since she said she planned to move out of the state in January. I also don't know where I will go or if I will try to stay in the same house. I will never agree to let her take him out of the state. I think I have a good case for his best interest in staying here with everyone and thing he has ever known and loved. I don't know if blocking him from going would prevent her from going or what she would do if that happened. I think the best case scenario for me is she leaves the state and he stays with me. If she was gone, I think things would be easier for me to deal with, and I have to deal with things either way, probably easier with her thousands of miles away. We have a divorce case open from when she previously filed, so I did some research of my state's laws, and that creates an automatic restraining order from either one of us taking him out of the state without permission. Neither one of us can do anything until we have something in writing. She is definitely a spoiled brat. Please remember, you are getting everything from me, and there are two sides to every story. I know in her mind things are different. In her mind, she did everything she could with her daughter, and this is a last resort in her best interest. Also, her move is to give her a better life in a place where she believes her business will be better received. Now we all know that behind all this is another man and a new relationship she wants to start. So, whether or not she would divorce me, break up our family, move away, without him in the picture, we will never know. She will say he has nothing to do with it, but there is no way to tell. Not that it really matters, but in a way the closure would be better for me if it was just about us and not about someone else. Even though we are over, that relationship can't crash and burn soon enough for me. I have accepted that our marriage is over, and I am making moves to protect myself and my right to my son. But that doesn't mean that I don't continue to make stupid mistakes. On Friday, I told her through email that I knew she had started a relationship and that she couldn't deny it because I had heard everything. She pretty much just said I wanted to cause drama and that we are done and only legally married. I came home late after a work event, and it was the first time in a while that I got some good sleep. It did feel like it helped. On set, she was gone and then in the room most of the day, so I spent the day with my son. We had a minor dispute about where he would sleep, but he ended up sleeping with me. I found out that she got a new phone number since her old number was on my account, and she did not give me the new number. On Sunday morning, she wanted to talk and reiterated that she wanted things to be peaceful the next few months and for us to be civil and try to work out our divorce ourselves prior to court. I told her that would take both of us, and it wouldn't be able to happen if she was starting a relationship with someone else while we are still in the house and bad-mouthing me to that person and all of her friends. She insisted she was not starting a relationship with anyone and that she didn't bad-mouth me. I just repeated what I said, and we both agreed to try to keep the peace. She asked that if we needed to talk, we go outside so we weren't around the kids, which I quickly forgot and messed up later in the day. We took the kids to the movies, and then we went to the store where she asked me to help her by buying drinks for her event, and she would pay me back. I know. Then she asked me to tell her about something in the parking lot, and when I deferred, she cried about how I never wanted to talk to her and that had always been a problem in our marriage. So, I did talk to her, and that led to her crying more about how I made her feel not good enough, and there was probably someone else out there who I would feel was worth it. There was more crying, and we left. We got home and she went in the room to talk on the phone. My son was upset about something and went to talk to her. He came back still upset and saying Mommy doesn't care. So, I waited about 45 minutes to see if she would come downstairs or call him, and then I went upstairs. I stopped at the door and could hear that she was talking to the other man. She was apologizing to him because he was upset about something she had done. I admit I got pissed. So, I knocked on the door and asked to talk to her, and she got off the phone. I told her I know that talking to this person is important to you, but your son is coming downstairs and saying you don't care about him. You only care about talking on the phone. She pretty much lost it, screaming and yelling and going off. She told me I just wanted to be nosy and she doesn't trust anything I say. She said I was trying to make her out to be a bad mom and she just has friends that she talks to, again going to great lengths to deny she started a relationship. I even said friends don't talk about bonding like you are, and she said how do you know I don't talk like that with my female friends? She said I just wanted drama and she hated coming to the house. She told me about all my failings again and then stormed out of the house. She was gone for a couple of hours, probably talking to him and whoever else to tell them about how terrible I am. Comments: you should definitely stop talking to her about anything except the kids and divorce. She is looking for an exit and has been for a long time. She is doing the exact same thing my sister did. My sister and her now ex moved in with me. Her kids had already been living with me for the previous 5 years. I could tell there was great tension between them. Over the course of the next 2 years, she was trying out other men, just like your wife. Finally, she hooked up online with a guy she went to high school with and had not seen in 20 years. They started a long-distance then one morning, she said she was taking the kids to visit a friend and let their kids play together. She was gone. We live on the East Coast, the other man lived on the West Coast, and that is where she went. A little later, divorce was filed. Now here is the part you should pay the most attention to. She won custody of the kids, of course, but the judge ruled that she was depriving the father his right to see his kids. So, she had to move back to the East Coast. She moved to within 4 hours of the father and they meet halfway for visitation, drop-off, pick-up. So, you need to lawyer up and fast. Even if you can't get primary custody of the kids, you may be able to stop a cross-country move. See if her great love is willing to move across country for her. OP responds, "It is funny how something that looks so bad when written down can actually be your life. I know that the argument when she was talking to the other man and our son was upset was more about me than our son. I am just very angry that she is having a relationship like this with someone else and also denying it. She is also telling him a lot of lies that makes me more upset. For example, she told him that when she was pregnant with our son, she had to go on bed rest and went into premature labor because of stress my family was causing and I wouldn't step in and do anything about it. She said her father wanted her to move in with them because he was scared of losing his grandson. Other than the bed rest and early labor part, none of that is true. It is completely made up and it bothers me that she lies to people about our life and in a way, it disrespects our son. It bothers me that after I spoke with her, she didn't tell this other man I need to keep peace in my life, so out of respect for my former marriage and family I can't talk to you for 4 months, and after that if you are still interested, we can start talking again." Let's be honest, she has no idea what he is doing. Yes, he could be head over heels for her and only talking to her for hours and texting. Or he could be talking to multiple women or other women, or who really knows. For her to be telling him he is her priority and apologizing to him when we are in this situation is just very frustrating. When we were arguing, she said she has been having migraines and chest pains and bad health because of everything, and I just don't care. I do care, but I feel like she is bringing this on herself by adding extra stress to our situation due to this relationship. She won't see that or even admit there is a relationship. Everything gets turned back around on me.
I am trying to work through all of these feelings so I can move on.
The lease is up in October.
We plan to give our notice on September 1st.
At the end of July, she is going to scout out Atlanta for her move, and I am sure be with the person she has been talking to during that time. I hate this person. To me, any man who would cross boundaries or be inappropriate with a married woman is a scumbag. We are not talking about someone's girlfriend. We are talking about someone's wife and a family. I think that many of these guys prey on married women who are unhappy, feeding into their unhappiness, giving them a fantasy world for their own personal gain. Personally, I think there should be consequences when someone does something like this with a married woman, and they shouldn't be able to just get away with it thinking it is okay. The argument I had with her the other night may have helped because last night she actually stayed downstairs and spent some time with our son. I am pretty sure she was still texting with him during that time, but at least she wasn't locked in the room talking on the phone. When I was about to go to sleep, she came over and said she wanted to talk to me. She pretty much proceeded to tell me how horrible I was and how unhappy she had been. It was like jabbing the knife in and twisting it. She told me that I didn't communicate and I was emotionally detached. She said that I made her unhappy and she couldn't take it anymore. She said that she cheated on me because there was a void I was not filling and she went out to fill it with someone else. She said she did not like that I turned her into that. She said even in our happy times she felt empty, that she did love me, but she loved herself more. Then she said she hoped we could end things peacefully and work something out for our son. I really didn't say anything. Yes, a lot of what she said was true, and I accept it, but I also think you can't just look at things in a vacuum. For example, I told her she never tried to build back trust after cheating and she continued to lie to me. She said I had lied to her too. I said I know I have lied to you too, but all lies are not always equal. That set her off and she said all lies are the same. She said I don't ever think I do anything wrong and I think I am better than everyone else. I really just stopped talking after that and listened to all of the hard and hurtful things she had to say about me. Then she went to bed. This morning when she got up, she was crying and I asked what was wrong. Her cousin had passed away overnight. She hadn't seen him for over 10 years, but they were close when they were kids. She came to me and I held her and listened to her for a brief time. She said life was too short. I told her she could be sad, but I know that he wouldn't want her blaming herself for anything. I also told her I am sorry he passed away. She thanked me. It is funny, for all the times she says I have never been there for her, I can name so many times situations like the above happened, and I was there and we had these moments. But I am sure she just got in the car and called him and he made it a point to talk to her and make it seem like he was there for her to take care of her. So, when she looks back, all that she will see is how he supported her and got her through this tough time. I am trying to limit conversations to just about the kids, but still struggling with how to handle those types of situations while also keeping the peace. I don't want my life to be non-stop conflict for the next few months, and it is not good for my kids. I have been keeping a log of all of our interactions and everything that I do for my son on a daily basis. The record will show that I am a primary caretaker in his life. We both have jobs. I have a really good job as a director and make a decent amount of money. I just never have money because I pay a majority of the bills. She has a job as well but does not want to do that job and wants to work her business full-time. To this point, she has not been able to get the business to make any money, so it has just drained money, but it is her dream. She believes it will do better in the city out of the state that she wants to move to. At this point, we both have jobs and incomes to support ourselves where we are at. The last few days have been a little different. She has not been in the room talking to him on the phone, and I have not heard her talk to him at all. She may still be texting him at the house though. Since she moved off of our cell phone account, I have no way of knowing. She could be talking to him on the phone all day long and then coming home and only texting him for all I know. This morning my son started to tell her that he didn't like it that we were fighting. Since we haven't been arguing, she asked him why he thought we were fighting. He said because we were sleeping apart. He said he wanted us to be together and he wanted to be with both of us. When he left the room, she said she needed to talk to me and she started to get upset that this was happening to our son and go over all of the blame she placed on me, similar to the other night. I said okay and started to walk away. She said, of course you don't want to talk about anything. I looked at her and said, I am not going to stand here and listen to you berate me and put all of the blame on me. She said, did your counselor tell you to say that to me? At that point my son walked back, in which was a great way for me to leave the situation. As I left the house and put my son in the car, she came over to say goodbye to him. She shut his door and then looked at me and said, it is really hard. 12 years of our lives are over. She said, why couldn't you have done things differently? When we had issues a few weeks ago, you left the bedroom and you walked away from me when I wanted to talk to you. I told her there are things that I regret, but now I am working on myself to improve and be a better person. She said, for the next person you're with. I said, no, for myself and my family. She said, who is your family? I said, my children are my family. She then got really upset and said, so I am not your family? She said, I told you that you would always be my family. She never said that, but now you are saying I am not your family. She started crying and stormed off. I can tell her that she fired me as a husband, but what about when she says she wants to be friends and have a good relationship for our son? For example, let's say she is short on money and needs gas to get to work. Then she asks me for a few dollars for gas. I say, you fired me as a husband and that is not my concern. She may say, but we are still friends. This roller coaster ride has been crazy. She called me today at work and told me that it was hurting her that I am making all of these changes now, but I did not make them before when they could have helped our marriage. I told her I didn't know how to change before, but now that I have the information and resources, I have to do it so that I can be a better person. I said I wish that I had the No More Nice Guy book before and we could have worked together to help our marriage, but now I still need to move forward on my own. She said she was happy for me and that I would be better for the next person with the benefit of the experience and changes. She almost made it sound like our marriage had to be the sacrifice for me to be a better person. Then she started to talk about working out something for our son. She has an arrangement where she will be an operations manager for a new event center in the city she wants to move to, and she says that will be her job. The paperwork has been signed. It is a complicated situation, but we will see if that works out. It is not like just accepting a job with an established company that will pay you a salary. It seems in her mind she will be moving there with our son to start a new life. Her only offer was that I could keep him here while she goes and gets everything set up and I can come visit him often. Mind you, this is 2,000 miles away. I didn't give her any of my legal strategy for why I think I can prevent her from taking him out of the state, but I did let her know that I was not agreeing to this scenario she has planned in her mind. Whenever she talked about moving or living out there, she kept saying we. I said there is no we, it is just you, do not include my son. She keeps saying she wants to work it out, we, and compromise, but really it seems that she wants me to give in to what she wants. I told her she has this vision in her mind about her and our son going out there and starting over, but that is not the reality of this situation. So, she got frustrated and said, I guess we will have to settle this in court, and hung up on me. She emailed me saying that I do not want to work with her and that he belongs with her. Also, that I am trying to hurt her and she sees who I really am. She says that she will never forgive me. She says that I am trying to destroy her for no reason, but she will not let me. Honestly, I have no idea where all of this is coming from. She knows how I feel about my kids. When she wanted to move away before, I would not consider it because I refused to leave my daughter. I am not a summer or spring break dad. It is crazy to have to deal with. I know that I have enabled and fed into this type of behavior in the past. I can't do that anymore. I know I need to 180 and work on myself, and that is what I am doing. I just like to post things as they happen here when I can, because it is a way for me to vent and get things out and also be able to get some perspective on things. Well, last night I worked late, so I did not get home until everyone was asleep. This morning we only said a few brief words to each other related to cleaning the house. She is going out of town for an event tonight and I believe won't be back until Sunday morning. So, it looks like it will be a quiet few days. We will have to see how it goes. We are not sleeping in the same bed. She is in the bed and since we have no extra bedrooms, I am downstairs on the couch. When she first cheated, I was devastated and thought the marriage was over. I never thought I would stay with someone who cheated on me. She begged me to stay. I agreed because I loved her and for my son. But then she never took the steps to build back trust. She wanted me to just pretty much be over it, and if I wanted access to things, she said she didn't like the way it made her feel, like I was spying and being controlling. So, she never put in work to make me feel comfortable and build trust with me. I would always be suspicious and hack into things and check up on things. And if I checked long enough, I would always find something. I hated living that way. This year I finally just stopped and said forget it, I am not checking on things anymore. That is how I missed this OM until I stumbled on her talking to him after she said it was over between us. And I heard that they had been talking to each other for all of this year. Isn't it crazy how they will get mad at you for spying on them even when you try to make the point that every time you spy on them you always find something? My comment, wow, that is really unfortunate. At least you know now. I would cut her loose even if you love her, otherwise you'll spend the rest of your life feeling insecure. What blows my mind is the total gall of these cheaters. How they will lie and deceive, then beg you to stay, but act outraged when you want verification of their honesty. Like you said, want you to just get over it.